Oh my god!
God, that's a mess. Alright, so obviously I'm back over at the garage again today, and right now I'm taking a break from making the turbo hot side. I'm actually getting to work on it. I don't know when this is actually going to air, so that might not make sense. Anyway, I got the engine bolted where it's going to be. I'm trying to, you might be able to tell by some of the piping laying around the car, that I'm trying to mock up how I want the turbo pipes to be going to the turbo. But it is 3:40, which means it's a good time to take a break for lunch, which is exactly what I did. And I figure while the food's digesting, I might as well take a second to kind of go over something that I'm sure is on at least a couple people's minds, and that is why the goal is only to get into the 10s with this car. Because I mean, let's try to dial it back a little bit and make some safe estimates. Let's say this thing makes 500, 550 to the tires, right? I think that's kind of fair with a turbo LS, a good cam, and as long as I get everything else set up properly, I think 550 isn't a stretch at all. I think it should be capable of like 650. Because basically what I'm doing here is a Don't BS Me clone with a different cam and a different intake, I think, are the only differences. They've used that turbo before. And a 5.3 instead of a 4.8. And Matt Happel released a video, I think today actually, or maybe yesterday while I'm filming this, of Joe's Fairmont, and it made 774, 775 to the tire with a similar setup. It was a 4.8 sloppy stage 2, a billet, I think it was a billet, pretty sure it was a billet 78, 75, and it made 775 to the tire. And that was a 4.8, like I said, sloppy stage 2 cam, billet 78, 75, I think a turbo 400, and an 8.8 rear end. So it's gonna be fairly similar to my setup, except I got more displacement. This is a 5.3, which is just more stroke. An intake that I'm kind of on the fence about. It should flow a lot better, but it's aluminum versus plastic, so it might heat soak a bit. Anyway, I think 650 is well within reason with it. So with it making pretty good power and it being fairly light, this thing should be like 2,900 with me in it full race weight on the line. And I'm keeping almost the entire interior, but there's not going to be like AC or anything like that, because I don't think this car actually had AC. So the question is, why is the goal 10s instead of 9s? Because it should be able to do mid-9s really easily. And that comes down to tech inspection. So my local track is US 131, and they're an IHRA track. So their rule book for a 10.00 to 11.49, the car, what I would have to do to this is it needs aftermarket axles and aftermarket axle retention device, 4-wheel brakes, at least one drive shaft safety loop, SFI 16.1 driver restraints, fire extinguisher, SFI 29.1 flex plate if faster than 135. Fuel tank cannot be taller than the top of the tires. SFI 18.1 harmonic balancer, roll bar on any full body car between 10.00 and 11.49, and SFI 4.1 trans shield, and a minimum wheelbase of 85 inches. Now, that's all doable, but it's not doable within the budget. And that's just for a 10.0 car. So for 9s, that's a lot more intensive, obviously. I don't think that that's unreasonable. I just think trying to meet the goal within the budget, 10s is a lot more reasonable to do for 4,000 or less than 9s, especially when you start factoring in any safety stuff. So a lot of that stuff is going to get overlooked, no doubt, but I think being a 10s car at a test and tune, they'll let me make more passes than they would if I was a 9-second car. That's pretty much what it boils down to. So I hope that kind of explains why it's going to be a 10 for 4 instead of a 9 for 4. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to get back to work. No rest for the wicked. So see you guys next time. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing.